All right, we're gonna start a little early. Just make sure we get Instagram going. We'll see if we can get this going. Here we are. All right, we're on Instagram. About 30-second delay, but hopefully you guys can hear the sound. Hoping you can hear the sounds. Hear the sound. All right. It's like a minute behind. It's hot in here. Whew. I'm gonna burn up. See if I can get my glasses clean. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about tonight, but I'll make it up as I go. All right. All right. So we got sound. See, we got sound. Got a better camera. Look at that. All right. Welcome. Smashing the Party. This is Nightcap. I got to start calling that out. This is Nightcap. Smashing the Party is my company, my little media company. Nightcap is the name of the show. please open your Bibles to Corinthians chapter 2. Just kidding. I'm not going to preach to you, but I was thinking about what I was going to talk about. And I thought, like, you know what? I'll just open up with like you're going to church, like just lay down the law. But it didn't, it fell flat. Anyway, listen, it's what, week 2? We've been doing this now. And holy shit, my voice is loud. And I don't think I've missed a day. I might have missed some times, but pat Nate on the back for actually thank you for actually committing and doing something. I'm pretty happy with it. I've also got some new stuff. Let's see if this will work. It won't. I wanted that to look cool. I wanted you guys to see the lower. All right, listen. So I promised I wouldn't do new stuff, but I did do new stuff today. I'm streaming from the browser, so I'm a little distracted. I didn't have a topic tonight, so I'm winging it. This is me improvising. And obviously I'm not off to a good start, but I do kind of have an idea of what I wanted to kind of mention. Just something that's been bothering me. And of course it has to do with Trump, but it's more about our politics, aesthetics of our politics, if you will. What do I mean by aesthetics, Nate, and his fucking stupid big words? What I mean is like the way things look. And it almost seems like there's an effort for our media to normalize things that are fucking crazy. And one of the things that I think's going on right now is I mentioned about the abortion, kerfluffle. Just going to call it a kerfluffle. It's bigger than that. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm not trying to minimize this fucking huge issue, which I'm sorry on behalf of all men. I'm sorry this is even a fucking thing. But not like we are the ones that should give or to take, whatever. Humbly, I submit myself, prostrate myself in front of all women and say that I have no business talking about it. But anyway, so this issue is coming up, and Donald Trump the other day on Monday, I believe it was, got online and said the Democrats are trying to terminate babies after their birth. He said, no, it's true. They're executing after birth. He said it twice. So again, everyone just kind of Donald Trump, but that's some bullshit. That's some explosive shit. That's some shit that normally would put a candidate out. Now I know we always talk about how Trump, kind of gets away with things, but it's not his fault. Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing he said. And we just kind of, now the media is going, well, Trump has kind of reiterated that he's not comfortable with Arizona's, full ban. He just got done saying that Democrats are executing babies. So what wouldn't you be in support? Anything that stops that, how can you not be for it? But of course, now he's tempered his position. And this is the weird thing. Like, how do you, it's like fucking crazy. Like crazy, I don't know, maybe I'm the crazy uncle, but you have that crazy uncle, crazy aunt, and they're gonna say some dumb fucking shit. And no one ever says anything because maybe they're scared of me. Maybe I'm the fucking crazy uncle. I don't know. But I'm gonna leave that one go. I think I might be the crazy uncle. I don't know. I'll have to find out. I'd kind of be happy if I am, but I don't know. All right. But you got somebody that says something so fucking stupid and no one calls them out on their bullshit. And you kind of just, again, we're going back to this emperor has no clothes kind of thing that I've been saying. It's like nobody's telling him, and the media kind of jumps on play. Well, he said this crazy shit about one side of the aisle wants to kill babies after they're born. And that was crazy, but we're just like, eh. And then we move on to, whoa, okay, well, he's tempered his, Donald Trump has said he doesn't like so you're saying you're, it's just crazy. We have to continue to cater to this crazy. And the media then placates by trying to normalize it and sounding like, oh, Trump's reasonable. Like he said some crazy shit, but well, that's a reasonable position. Of course, everyone's anti-Arizona craziness, except for the fucking men in Arizona, which is fucking wild, by the way. But now all of a sudden the media is like, yeah, Trump's taking a position now. It's much more mainstream. He doesn't have fucking positions. There's no position with this guy. Whatever the last peep in his ear was, that's what he wants to do. Like, that's it. That's, if you've never dealt with a narcissist, you're like, this is so, it's why every other fucking country loves Trump in power, besides the chaos that if they can maintain his chaos, because all they need to do is get a meeting with him, butter it up, scratch his balls a little bit, rub his, maybe pull on his nutsack, and then he'll do whatever. That's what a narcissist does. Like, they're so insecure. The last fucking thing they hear, that's what they want to act on. That's the thing. That's the thing. And it's black and white. That person says something bad up, that's an enemy. An enemy. They used to work for me. They're enemies. I mean, this is clearly DSV 5 for all you fucking psych majors. DSV 5, quintessential narcisito. That's my favorite line. I'm really going to try to beat that home. I know it doesn't have the comic effect that I wanted to, but quintessential narcisito. I mean, that's what he is. And so this idea that we're normalizing this crazy person who's really just like a vapid shell of a surface of whatever they heard last, almost like one of those string dummy dolls that, by the way, side note, one of my favorite videos to watch, send them to me. Little babies watching the little thing and the thing mimics them and it scares the shit out of them. I don't know why I could watch those for hours. I'm not sadist or anything. It's just funny because the babies just have no clue they're going to get the shit scared out of them. That's what it feels like with Donald Trump. He's one of those things that just repeats, you know, he says something, it repeats. He's the doll that just repeats whatever you say back. And people like to hear what they say back to them. They like to be reaffirmed. So he's done this his whole life. He knows how to butter people up and he knows how to butter them up. So he's got this power now. And so everyone's just going to kiss up to him. There's no policy. This is why the Republicans kind of been playing with fire and they like it because he will do whatever they want him to do as long as they can control him. Now he's gotten a little bit wild and crazy. He's not controllable, but for the most part, he rubber stamps their shit. He's going to put their judges in. He went from a liberal fucking Democrat for years, you know, arguing, you know, pro-life and everything else. Now he went for the Republican Party, who he has stated on the record he would run as a Republican because they're the fucking morons. He said that. They will be the morons that will ignore me, don't give a fuck, I can do whatever the fuck I want because they're idiots. I'm going to run as a Republican because that's the stupid party, is what he said. Donald Trump, he said this. He knows that if you gin up God and you get some moral values in there, people will fucking get off their ass. Ooh, we're going to save America. You fucking idiots. This is the clown that you've been following that's been like kind of just doing whatever. And so now all of a sudden the media just plays along just to, I don't know who they're placating. Like, I don't know why. I remember when Huffington Post, again, you can hate on Huffington Post, whatever. She made $200 million on the sale. Good for her. Arianna Huffington, immigrant, success story. Hooray. Actually, I know she's an oil magnate. She was rich before. Anyway, Huffington Post, I remember when they were like, all right, look, this is so crazy. We're not going to fucking talk about Donald Trump in a way. And they were like, they had it going for a couple months because they're like, this is just ridiculous. We're just going to not even entertain this. And they're like, haha, side note, ha, Donald Trump. And I'm just like, meanwhile, everyone else is like mainstreaming this motherfucker. And then finally they folded and they're like, all right, well, I guess. And all of a sudden they just started talking about him as if he was a real candidate. So it was like a night shift. They're like, all right, well, I guess we're going to have to start mainstreaming this guy so we can't bash him for the idiot he is. Why not? Why the fuck did you stop? Why do people stop? Why don't you say this is the dumbest fucking nobody? Why don't they, like, somebody got to say nobody's killing babies post-birth? And if you're pro-life and that's your argument, this is one of those times where I'm like, get the fuck, we can't sit at the same table when you're doing that because it's not true. So the thing that's been bothering me and what I wanted to talk about today is, like, you know, you see these crazy ideas come out of this motherfucker, and I don't care who it is, that, you know, they're repeated throughout. And then if they're crazy enough, they're almost like little tentacles, and they'll get some folks will buy him because he says it. It's almost like he's like biblical. His word is bond to these motherfuckers. So he says it, and it manifests itself into something that his supporters believe. And this is a vapid, empty shell of a person that doesn't have any kind of wherewithal in anything other than survival mode my entire life because I'm so insecure because I never got daddy's love. That is who we elected as president, not a strong man. He talks brash, but this is the same kid that's beating up your kid at school because your kids, this is a bully. Or maybe your kid's the bully. If your kid's the bully, fuck off. And if you have a kid that's getting beat up by a bully, fucking go fucking fuck that kid up. Do not fucking let bullies run the fucking playground. This is what I think's happened. People just kind of like, oh, he's just a bully. We're just going to let him do it. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck it all. Absolutely not. Somebody needs to tell him like he's a clown. Look, dude, I've said it. I will hang out with him, not as president of the United States. So this whole normalization is the other thing that kind of drove me crazy before, kind of waking up and going, all right, so this person, this fucking apprentice guy is now like making policy decisions who like just need some Adderall or maybe a line. I know I could go in there with some Peruvian flake and get him to do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? If you don't know what that is, well, Donald Trump does, and he'd be happy, and so would his boys. I mean, that's the kind of person. There's just an id. It's almost like a thing in a petri dish where like it's just reflexive. You can predict it so much that the chaos. This is the thing that drives me nuts too. Is it's so predictable what he's going to do or say. He's going to say the worst possible thing because he wants that. It gives him importance. It's even negative is important. Is good for him. So the media continues to play along, and he makes these crazy, wild positions on policy. Then his supporters come along, and they're all of a sudden Trump whispers, and they'll be like, hey, well, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean he's going to dictate. He didn't mean he was going to be a dictator. He just meant he was going to just get shit done. Maybe just cut the red tape and get through the swamp and bullshit. Do you understand what the fuck you're saying? You're suggesting that what he's saying means nothing, and you know better than anyone what he means, while half of us have to try to guess or interpret what he's saying. So what I'd like to see more of from everybody is just fucking call this clown out for what he's emperor without no clothes, swinging his balls in our face, acting as if he's really got some important thing, like he's done anything. Anything he's done has been because people around him or surrounding him are weak enough where they'll support him, and for maybe their own projections. That's often what happens when you encounter a narcissist. You want the love or affection, so you project what you want onto this person. And so now everything that you're seeing is through this lens, and this person's smacking you back and forth. You don't give a shit because you just want that. That's what it looks like if you're a Trump supporter. You're big, tough guy with all your guns. You're literally like, you're looking like a frail beta male supporting this guy if you can't even see through it. So all the tough guy, it's funny, all the tough guys support this guy and they think he's strong. When Biden, old and crumbly, I'm not going to lie, I can't watch Biden speak. I haven't watched him speak since he got elected. I've said when he got elected, I'm not going to be able to watch him speak. I'm worried he's going to die. I admit he's old, decrepit, and I'm not thrilled. He's not exciting, but policy-wise, he's doing great. You can't argue that. Stop fucking even acting like he's not. I don't care where you are. Yes, the whole Israel thing sucks for everyone. He's not perfect on that, but he's done a lot. The economy's doing better. We've had more jobs in this 4 years than like in the last fucking however many presidential, however many fucking years we've had this kind of job growth. I don't know if I didn't look at the stats. I can't watch him. That's my point. I can't watch him. I understand aesthetically why he sucks. But then on the other hand, I'm like, how can we continue? Yes, he sucks. I don't want to watch him. Just put his voice up. Let me see his policies. I'm not really getting motivated like Obama motivated when I watched Biden. I get it. Okay. But I mean, this crazy shit has got to stop. We can't he does it at his rallies. He'll say some crazy shit like, I'm going to burn the whole fucking place down. Then he'll come out in mainstream and go, well, what I mean is we just want to shut this down. No, I mean, he's talking like he's telling his fucking clown goon people that he's going to do this. Now, I know there's a whole bunch of folks that watch this that support Trump that just can't deal with Biden's policies. And they're probably just they get mad because I'm like, I'm hating on him again. But I don't understand, like, even if you like his policies, if you like Republican policies, you have to understand that when we have somebody that's literally ignoring all the rules of law, and I said this before, the rules of law, if you don't know this by now, it's like Post-its, they're suggestions, especially when you have money, they're suggestions. We have laws that say don't murder. People still fucking kill people. The law doesn't stop things from happening. They're suggestions and they're penalties. If you don't agree with them, you get penalties. Well, guess what? There's a whole tier of laws that are for us that don't exist, that there's no penalties for. Trump learned that his first 4 years. He learned that he can place somebody in some position and then wait for Congress to fucking be pissed off. It'll take him 3 years to vote on something. By that time, this person's executing everything he wants. He knows now, do it, ask permission later. That's what you want. That's what you want. Would you want the same thing if it was the other party? So to think that we're going to start from the press to your behavior to normalize it, people are scared to talk about politics. Like, I got people like, oh, I'll come on your show. I don't want to come on your show. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't ever want to talk about politics. Okay, I get it. But like, why not? Because this is fucking crazy because some of your friends are dumbasses and they support this clown and you don't want to piss them off. You need to tell your friend that supports this clown, they're clowning themselves. Stay Republican, but find a fucking Liz Cheney or a Dick Cheney or somebody else or a Bush, somebody that respects the rule of law. This isn't a strong man. This is a weak person who's going to have weak people around them and they're going to do weak ass shit. They're going to do weak, dumb ass shit. And you're going to think you're strong. You're getting fucking winning over the libtards. And this whole mentality of like us versus them. It's like, I'm okay with the Republicans existing in some fashion. I want that it doesn't make sense to have like, oh, let's try to figure out the best solution. Everyone comes with the same idea. That's bullshit. That's not even how engineering works. Like, get the fuck out. If you don't have a new idea, I already probably thought of all the good ideas. So I want you to come with better ones. Seriously, don't come with the same shit. So come with alternatives. Good. Let's do that. Let's have a party that does that. But let's not have a party that uplifts this clown of a man. This is not who you want your kids to. You respect what? The money? Is that the thing now? Is it the money? Does he have the money? Is it really there? What's the respect? Do you want your children growing up that way? I guess that's fine. I don't know. I don't really care about. I really could give two shits about who he's banging. I don't care. More power to whoever he's banging, whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with his policy. I don't care about any of that, by the way, which, again, was a big deal for Republicans during the Clinton years when we were worried about the moral fabric of this country from a fucking blowjob. But now, like I said, back then, it didn't matter. And I was a Republican back then. I really didn't care back then, believe it or not. And I don't care. I don't care what a politician does outside of their office hours, quite frankly, as long as it's not a detriment or influence in their job. I don't really care. I'm okay. They go to strip clubs after they're done working. I don't give a shit if it's their own money. I don't care. But what I do care about, and you can argue that there's a moral fabric or there's something wrong with somebody doing that. Fine. Trump does all that stuff, right? But he's still your guy. My point is, like, if they're doing their job and they're following the rule of law and they're respecting the things that we set up, this framework, which, by the way, is not perfect, but we can't rip it down completely before we fix it. I'm opinion that we should take down the system. I'm just saying you can't just ignore laws because then what do you have as a basis? If everything's a suggestion, you just decide not to follow the suggestions, which are these Post-it notes, which you can just rip off the wall. Well, then it's pretty fragile. And we don't have any framework. See, I went off and I said I didn't have anything to say, but it gets me fired up because we're just normalizing. Even now, I hope he doesn't win, but I don't even like the idea that we're like normalizing some of the things that he's saying, even on a half, like, tempering the things that he says, 3 days later, or when someone writes it up, trying to both sides that shit. so that so that they can be fair is bullshit. And it's just it's aggravating, and I can understand why it also kind of pulls people away, because you kind of get tired of, even if you don't like Trump, you get tired of even the just the fact that he's in the room sucking out the oxygen. You get pissed off because you're not sure. I mean, you're hearing this person say, and seeing this one side get all frustrated with this person, but then you're reading it and you're reading, it's not that bad. So the media kind of tempers what he says. And so it creates this disillusionment with the whole system. And quite frankly, one of the things that Trump wrongly did it wrong, but he was right in that we've lost our media. The media is not fake news. They're just bought and paid. And so they produce real news, but it's all based on what the powers that be want it to be. And so that's the real danger of having any mainstream news. If you look at MSNBC, CNN, all these big, I mean, Jon Stewart got bit by Apple. When you go mainstream, you're kind of under the cusp of what's acceptable. I know for a fact that I'm literally can say whatever. I can be canceled off the platforms, but there's no big loss. And so, you have this whole entire system kind of normalizing or deciding what's okay. My frustration is this isn't okay. I'm not okay with the media just okay in this. That's not both sides. And that's saying, look, this is some crazy shit. This is not true. Nobody has a policy or is in support of murdering babies post birth. Boom, start off with that. Trump said this at the beginning of his speech. This is a bold-faced lie, and there's no one in either party that has that position. Now, I mean, like that every single time. So then now he's tempered his position. He had a crazy position. He's not tempered anything. You said that in the preamble. This crazy position now is being fluffed up because he realizes how crazy it is. This is like, I mean, he doesn't say things unless he's trying to either placate to somebody or just instigate something. There's no other reason. He says things for reasons. He's not stupid. And so the media just plays along by kind of just normalizing it. And that's kind of been my, I'm looking through the news today and I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm, knowing what he said about on Monday, and knowing the backlash that we're seeing from women in Arizona just about, that case. The Supreme Court basically saying rolling back a law that was, I think, written in 1864. And so, these words that Trump says and his followers, they take it to heart, and they're thinking, you know what, they're doing the Lord's work if they're able to figure out a way to create policy that supports their charlatan in chief. And so Arizona Republicans must be kind of waiting to get a big shtick from Donald Trump because of what they've done. And now Donald Trump's kind of backing away, but I guarantee he's calling him on the back door and saying, hey, good job. Because the other thing I want to talk about, which is totally off tangent, way off tangent. Let's just kind of wrap up that idea that I wanted to start with. First of all, my whole concept today was just about the aesthetics of fucking normalizing things and how they make it appear as if things are okay when things are crazy. And that's a crazy statement, and that's not okay. And that media continues to do that. And we suffer because it creates this malaise across everybody. Like, okay, both sides suck. Trump's crazy, but what's he really saying? Oh, Nate's just saying he's saying all this stuff, but I read it. It's not okay. Now we're fucked because we're all on different pages. But what's interesting about all of this, I was thinking about how I would talk about kind of this concept of why politicians need their fringe. Like, why do they need their fringe? And if you look at why they sometimes will cater to their folks, let's just talk about a bell curve. It's a bell curve that goes like this. Basically, that means all this big hump in the middle is everybody, and then you have the percentage, maybe the not so smart people over here, and then the really smart people on the edges. So it looks like a bell. I'm positing that upside down, it's like basically it's an upside. Let's call it the Bomberger curve, the Bomberger campaign curve. And what it means is like it's an upside down bell curve, but it's like People in the middle, their excitement levels low, low, low. People on the fringes, they're excitable. I mean, so you've got to cater to those people. So since people on the edge, the left, the hard right, those people, if you look at the way this the y axis is how excitable they are, and they're very high on the excitable on the edges, but in the middle we don't give a shit. And so a good campaign is going to find a way to motivate these middle people. But it's so easy. It's so easy just to pick a fringe topic, bullshit edge thing and get the edge people crazy, because that'll be enough to churn you into a win. And so you end up catering to the crazies on both sides of the aisle. Good campaigns, which I'm going to suggest that Obama campaign first time around, got people in the middle excited and lifted that middle. So the excitement level was average. So it was a hard campaign to beat when it came to primary, because we had real motivation. I was a part of that campaign. I'm obviously biased, but it was a great experience. And I'll tell you, being on sales organizations and all kinds of different teams, nothing matched the level of pure Peruvian flake cocaine excitement that campaign had in its heyday. So I will say the excitement level was there. I'm bringing all this back because, these fringe issues that the press normalizes, they are normalized and they're fringed out for reasons. And the reason is because they want to mainstream these ideas, or at least the candidate, they want to keep him so he's not creating too much of a fluffle. But then he's saying these things so that he can get his edge people all crazy. And so people are hearing it. And this is why they call it dog whistling, because certain people can hear it. Dogs can hear the whistle. So he says things for certain people to hear it. And you and I might think, well, that's awful, or maybe I don't understand that. But if it's said in the right tone, or the right, in the right context, to the right folks in the right ear with the right lens, if you will, if there's a such thing as an ear lens, then it comes out a little different. And so all I'm saying, let's wrap up today, because there's a lot of like rambly kind of stuff going on, but I think there's a coherent message in there somewhere. And that's what I'm saying, is that be careful of the press. Watch them normalize the bullshit behavior, even when they normalize what Democrats do. Again, we have a little bit of a chaos going on with Trump, so he's going to be doing things that are out of the ordinary just to get a rise, everybody. But, try to take a deep breath and think about what the fuck is normal and why are we accepting this bullshit? Why don't we get back to brass tacks and talk about real issues? And so, I haven't talked about real issues today, but I feel like when the press kind of minimizes the crazy, it's hard for you to come back and counter that when in the back of your head and the back of that person's mind, they're off to the races in crazy land. And so how do you negotiate with that person when they don't have a position and they just say things to instigate and to inflame? And I think our press does a bad job of that. And I think it behooves us to be vigilant of it, especially if you're a Republican. Make no mistake, I hope we have a stronger Republican Party. Look, Liz Cheney, throw her on the ballot and make her the first woman president. I'm not going to be happy, but I'm way happier than having Trump in there. And she's a hard right conservative. She's going to vote ways I don't like, and she's probably going to be, I think she's even pro-life, perhaps. I know she's going to be pretty friendly on the LGBTQ issues, but I mean, I'm okay with Liz Cheney because she's a rational person. She respects the rule of law. Never say that in a million years I would vote for a Cheney in this day and age. But quite frankly, if that was the only alternative, and Biden wasn't alive for some reason, I mean, I would vote for the Democrat no matter what, probably, unless they were a moron like Trump. Anyway, all right, I've waxed on poetic. Look, it's Thursday. We did 4 days. We're on a roll here. Thanks for kicking in on the TikTok followers. I think I'm up to like 275, and I'm on pace to, I should be good. Basically doing this thing where I'm posting and following, and I'm hoping to get there within the next couple weeks. If I keep on this trajectory. So I'm earning like maybe 10 to 15 followers a day. And a couple times it's like 100, I think that there's a couple things I can do to get more by posting. You guys are great though. Anyway, so keep following, keep subscribing. For some reason, YouTube, I'm able to stream live to it. So even though I only have 98 followers, I'm able to stream. So I'm okay with that. But I wanted to say thank you for everybody. I get a lot of positive feedback. I know that every day it's like, what the hell's Nate going to try today? Every day I'm trying something new. I'm hoping that today's stream kind of showed up, um, like actually looked reasonable. I've got little TikToks or little tickers and stuff I didn't even play. I was going to try to show you guys some stuff. Um, but anyway, we'll get more fancy. And I did get a plugin working that's pretty cool. I'll just show you that real quick. That makes things like kind of look neat when you transition. That's it. It just makes things move and zoom pretty cool. So, little stuff like that adds little flavor to the stream. So I was kind of happy that I got through this week, these 2 weeks. I added a couple elements. I got the camera set up. I can get this whole thing set up in about 15 minutes, which is nice. So, I think if I had a power block, I could basically set this up anywhere, if I had 3 lights and the camera. So just want to say thanks. I'm excited. I feel good, even though I didn't have an agenda tonight. Look, I know I can ramble for forever long I need to. But I just wanted to kind of come in today with actually having things working, streaming to every platform, talk about my annoyance with the press, and then we'll put a flag in it and say we did 2 weeks. So don't have a website. Smashtheparty.com got stolen from me. That's where I had all my gear. So I'm not even going to push gear or anything like that, merch, until we get that shit back up. I don't even care about that stuff anymore. I don't even care if you give me a penny, but I do want you to follow, like, and share things so I can get more reach and obviously keep this going. That's it. We're going to call it a week. Enjoy your weekend. After Hours is coming. That is the show where it's going to be non-political, and I've got, branding around it. I've got some folks that are going to be coming on, and if you watch and I talk to you, I wasn't just saying that. I know there's a couple deadlines that folks have for May, some promotional stuff that we want to do. So I will get that in. We're talking about launching the After Hours show, which is just going to be kind of a round robin, whatever the fuck it is. And we're going to have that going probably by the end of this month. We should have our first show. So keep it up. Who knows where we're going, but I love it. I'm enjoying it. This is my art. This is my show. This is my voice right now. And I want to grow it. And stay tuned. Follow, subscribe, smash the like button, share it, comment. Before I go, let me see if there's any comments. No comments. All right, cool. That's it. We're gonna wrap, and we'll see you guys on Monday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, everybody. Now I gotta wait a minute so Instagram finishes. So let's do that. End. Can I end it?